Hello and welcome back to KSP Real Solar System Campaign. What you are seeing on the screen is the largest manned mission we have attempted so far. 3 Kerbals are taking part in this mission to do a manned lunar flyby. As such, we had to build a new spacecraft that you will get a chance to look at a bit later, which could accomplish this. The spacecraft, which is named Mars 1, is quite heavy, so to launch it to the moon requires the largest rocket we've built so far. This rocket has 3 F1 engines on the first stage, and it is kind of configured like the Delta IV Heavy rocket or the Falcon Heavy. It has 2 strap-on boosters that are more or less the same as the main core of the rocket. And then most of the other booster components in the second and third stage are things you've probably seen many times already. Let's also talk about something else. If you have a look at the planet face angle panel, you can see that Mars has a face angle of around 43 degrees currently. That means we are in a Mars launch window. For remember that the ideal face angle is around 45 degrees. So we'll definitely be launching a probe to Mars as well, after we've launched this rocket out into space. The third stage has now been fired up, the fairings have been detached, and you can now see the actual spacecraft that will fly around the moon. It has several similarities with the Apollo command and service module. In particular, it has the same engine as the Apollo service module, and it also has basic life support components, solar panels, fuel cells, RCS, that kind of stuff. All the things you really need for a successful manned mission. But before we do our translunar injection burn, we will head off over to the VAB to prepare our probe that we'll send to Mars. So we're just going to make some modifications to the Progress 4 probe that we sent to Venus. We're going to put some landing legs, parachutes and a heat shield on this thing, because I will try to land this and do a soft landing of this spacecraft or probe on Mars. So I think it should be capable of that, but the real test of course will come once we arrive at Mars. And we're about to head out to the moon with our most modern 3-man spacecraft. Now, there is one big problem with this spacecraft. You see, the solar panels there is not the main power source of the spacecraft. The fuel cells that I have, like this one, is the main power source of the spacecraft. Now this runs on liquid hydrogen, the fuel cells runs on liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen, which is evaporating from the tank. So you can see our electric charge is slowly draining away, and unfortunately we have to try to abort the mission because of that. So what I'm going to do, I mean, otherwise we are going to run out of electricity and our crew is going to die. Let's see, can we somehow just get our periaps down enough? I'll try to fire the engine now. Could I just get this down enough? If I could just get the orbit low enough, we can try to re-enter into the atmosphere and hopefully salvage this. I mean, the mission will still be considered a failure, but we can at least try to prevent the death of our crew. Yeah, so I decided that I had to detach the service module, because we are going for re-entry now, and I ditched it because we are we're basically already run out of electric charge, and once the electric charge has completely been depleted, we can't activate any modules, including the decouplers. So I had to do a pretty early decoupling, and you can also see that we almost run out of oxygen as well. So that is something we're gonna have to keep in mind when we're redesigning the spacecraft. We need to add more oxygen supplies. Let's see, hopefully this re-entry won't be too hazardous. We're going to probably get quite a bit of G-forces here, and you can just see the heat shield ablating away here. So getting close to our. Not sure if well, this might actually go on the first go, but yeah, I think this is going to be a pretty smooth re-entry. Actually, we did re-enter with our periaps at a good altitude, so that we are neither going too steep or too shallow. Yeah, well, apoapse is not going low enough, so we're going to have to make another run at this. Hopefully the crew won't run out of oxygen. That is actually more of a problem now than the lacking electric charge. We are going for our second re-entry run right now. We have no control over anything in the spacecraft. We have no electric charge still, of course. Not at all. You can see the G-forces starting to climb. Up to 5 G-forces now. Or 5 Gs, not G-forces. Let's see how high the Gs will go before... I'm not too confident in this until the G meter starts to drop back down again. The heat shield is definitely doing its job, so we have plenty of ablative material here to protect us. But we're getting to the point soon where the Gs will hit its peak. Oh yeah, well, this might actually be the peak. So it peaked out about 7 Gs, and that is not too bad. Now, the only question that remains is, will the parachute work? And I don't know. Because I did arm the parachutes, but with no electricity, will they actually deploy? We'll see. Oh no. Oh no. No parachute deployments. Yeah. That was what I was afraid of. Oh well. This did not go. Yeah, we lost 3 crew members, unfortunately. Now, the loss of 3 Kerbals in that unfortunate accident was definitely a big setback to our space program. But it is not going to stop us. We are definitely going to make another attempt at doing a manned lunar flyby. We are going to learn from the mistakes with that previous, the first prototype, in fact, of the Mars 1 manned spacecraft. We are going to build upon that design, improve it, and send another crew of 3 members to do a lunar flyby. Now, we'll concentrate also a bit on the launch of our probe to Mars, which you can see in the background right now. This is something that will hopefully go a bit better than the lunar flyby, and at least there is no lives at stake here, because this is just an unmanned probe. But the mission that this probe will carry out is definitely quite very important. There is a lot of science to be gathered, at and around Mars, and that is going to contribute towards technological development which will help future man exploration of the moon. So we fired the third stage of this rocket, which will take us on the course towards Mars. We had to do some corrective burns because we were a bit late in our launch window, so we have to expend some extra delta V to do that. The third stage alone is not enough to take us all the way to Mars. It simply does not have the required delta V, but with the amount of fuel we have in the final spacecraft, I think this is going to be successful. But that will be all for this episode of KSP Real Solar System Campaign. Not everything went to plan in this episode, and we unfortunately lost 3 Kerbals, but that's not going to hold us back. We are going to complete that mission. We are going to do a manned lunar flyby. We just have to make some modifications to our spacecrafts to correct the flaws that we discovered during our previous launch. And once we do that, we should definitely be good to go. But that will be a topic for a future episode, and so will our exploration of Mars be. Thank you for watching, and take care.